Hey, Stephanie. Oh, I see numbers jumping. Hello, hello. Let me get you turned around. I've got this, I have this, hey Mom, I have this camera so rigged up. Hey. Wow, that overhead light is bright. Hey, personal best health. I just got glasses today for the first time in my life, and I feel a little disoriented, and I'm having a little trouble reading. So if I mess your name up, I do apologize for that. And I have my Letitia from Long Island. Welcome. I have normally I'm an artist, a custom portrait artist. It's one of the things I do, and I have the camera like rigged up to an art easel with a tripod and all kinds of random stuff. So if you fall on the floor, hang tight. I'll pick you up. Don't even worry about it. Just pretend you've had too much to drink. Oh, thank you. I'll take it. Whether yes, love right back to you. Thank you. Okay, so I am one of the things I do is I am a desire map facilitator, licensed through Danielle Laporte, and I have another workshop starting soon, September 15th. I do those over a 5-week period virtually, so you don't have to leave home. And I was packaging up materials to send to the people who are registered so far, and I thought I would hop on here and show you what you get and tell you a little bit about why you should take a Desire Map workshop. It is an investment, and you probably want to know what you're getting into. So, I see numbers but not names. So, what the Desire Map is different than most things. It's different and it's not. Desire mapping is cutting through the bullshit and going straight for the feeling that you're trying to achieve by whatever goal you've set for yourself. So too often we set New Year's resolutions, or we read a goal setting book and we get all excited and we set all these goals, not really exploring what the feeling is we're trying to achieve through those goals. So we get to the goals and we fail, or we push ourselves so hard and we achieve it, but we can't maintain it because we've just gone crazy with it. So in the book I'm talking about, the materials come from The Desire Map by Danielle Laporte. You may have seen this. It's been around for a little while. It's all tabbed up to hell and back. And when you go straight for the feeling, then you don't get bogged down in details that can trip you up. So if you want a new car, you go straight for the feeling of having that new car, how it's going to feel to drive it, how it's going to, and what it is you're seeking. Like, are you wanting the status of it? And there's nothing wrong with that. Are you wanting the sense of security that comes from a new car? What is it you're trying to achieve? And if somebody could throw in a comment real quick, it looks like the screen is frozen. If you could just throw an emoji in there to let me know that you can hear me. I bet you can't hear me because... Hi, Allison. Can you guys hear me? I had my headset plugged into the phone, but I didn't have it plugged into my head. So, I'm wondering if you guys can hear me better now. Sometimes late in the day, technology just gets the best of me. So we're talking about Desire Map. When you are chasing a goal, great. Okay, good. Hey, Allison, I've seen a couple, at least one of your scopes. Love the accent. I had a friend living in Victoria. Is that right? It's south. Somewhere in the south. For a while. She's not there anymore. But the reason you would want to take and look at the desire mapping process is whether or not you take a workshop, at least to read the book or to look at some of the materials, is when you are not spending time getting bogged down on details, you can achieve your goals quite a bit faster. Yeah, nice to meet you too. I think I saw you the other day in somebody else's scope. Sarah Ballard's Thrive with Sarah. Hi. I think I've seen your name too, Sojourn Peaceful. I'm pretty sure I follow you. I swear I've seen your name somewhere before because it's nice. It reminds me of Sojourner Truth. um, the when you're not really chasing the goal that you think you are for a lot of people. Yeah. Um, you're chasing the feeling that you think the achievement of the goal is going to get you. If you want to strip everything away, at the bottom of it all, we want to feel good. Yes, it is very nice to meet other healers, and that is the beauty of Periscope, is you can find people you resonate with. If I'm not your cup of tea, or you can easily find someone who is, and vice versa. It's such a spiritual buffet out there now. It's fantastic. So sometimes we can trip ourselves up and we can limit the universe. We can box up the universe by having to have our goals look or be achieved in a certain way. So if we say that a typical goal setting would be, I want to make $10,000 a month. Well, that's awesome unless you don't make $10,000 a month, and then you're depressed, or you think goal setting doesn't work, or it's frustrating and it may make you give up. Where the desire map process would take you through, what does that really mean? When you say, I want to make a specific dollar amount a month, why is that? What are you wanting from that? If you make $10,000 a month, how is that going to feel? Yes, it's great to learn from each other and expand our world. If you are seeking a particular dollar amount because you think that dollar amount's going to make you feel secure, what will happen is you'll get to $10,000 a month and it won't be enough, because that wasn't really what you were after. What you may have been after is a sense of security, or a sense of safety, or a sense of freedom. The reason that people want a particular dollar amount every month or every year is not, I mean, the reasons vary, but it's typically not what you think. Yeah, so desire mapping is going for the feeling. Otherwise, you get to your goal, and either you don't get to your goal, and that sucks, or you get to your goal and it's not enough. You're not happy. You've got to go for $20,000 a month, and then you're going to get to $20,000 a month if you work your ass off, and you're going to get there, and it's not going to be enough because you're not addressing the feeling. I have no idea why that phone is ringing. That is like a family phone, but no one would be calling us, so we're just going to ignore it. People generally are seeking money for freedom or security. So annoying. I apologize for that. For me, I want a certain amount of money, and I don't even put a number on it anymore. But what I want is to feel freedom, the freedom that money can bring you. And I want the security that money can bring you for when things go wrong. You have the means available to take care of them. Something breaks, you just replace it, or you get somebody out to fix it. It doesn't destroy your whole world when something goes wrong. And so I don't have to have $10,000 a month to have that feeling. So desire mapping takes you through your goals, deeper, deeper, deeper. Yes, focusing only on the end result emotion that you're trying to achieve. Then you just cut out the middleman and have that emotion right now. So when we know that like attracts like, and magnetics attract, your law of attraction stuff, when you're going for the feeling, you don't limit the universe. So you've got this $10,000 a month goal. Underneath all of that, if you unpack it all, is you really want to feel secure. So if you get rid of the $10,000 a month thing and you just go around doing whatever you can to generate that feeling of security, then that opens the doors for the universe to bring you things that match that sense of security. So like attracts like. I walk around, I feel secure, I feel taken care of, I get the feeling of if something goes wrong, I can handle it, I'm going to be okay. Then anything that matches that feeling can come to me, and it might not necessarily be a certain number in the bank. The security, not necessarily a certain dollar amount, right? So what if the universe wanted to bring me $50,000 a month? Well, I've just limited it by putting a number on it. I've capped myself in a way. I've capped myself either direction. So I'm not likely to get more than $10,000 a month because I don't even have that in my awareness. And then if I don't get $10,000 a month, I'm going to negatively impact myself emotionally and question what I'm doing. You know, that whole cycle of like, I set a goal and I didn't get it, and then you feel like crap, and nobody wants to feel like crap. The whole point of this life thing is to feel good. So go for the feeling. Again, so like another common goal is weight loss. Why do you want to lose the weight? If you're focused on what you're putting in your mouth and counting off calories, and you do have to, don't go crazy with this. You can't imagine losing weight and then be eating a box of Oreos every night. As fun as that would be, it's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna work. So the 5-week process takes you through of unpacking all your goals to find out what you're after. Do you want to lose weight because you think it's going to get you a relationship? Are you wanting to lose weight because you think people don't like you because of your weight? What is really underneath the weight loss thing? You find what that feeling is, then you spend your time strengthening that feeling and practicing that feeling. And the weight loss then becomes, it's not automatic. You still have to do the work. But your willingness to do the work arises without you even trying. So if I'm thinking about losing weight because I want to feel comfortable, then I would start my day, and several times a day, I would work on that feeling of comfortable. Like, how did it feel when I used to be an athlete? How did it feel when I used to mountain bike? That freedom in your body, I would focus on that so that then I am much more likely to stand up and go for a walk. I am much less likely to reach for my husband's crappy food collection in the pantry, because I'm focused on that feeling of comfort. So then I'm magnetic to that feeling, not the feeling of despair if I'm struggling to lose weight. Is that making sense? If you go for the feeling, manifesting through raising vibration, gratitude, and being in the feeling to match what you want. Exactly. You're cutting out all the ego things that can complicate your manifestation. You're going straight to the heart, straight to the soul. And about 5 weeks is a good time frame, 5 or 6 weeks. If you're doing it through a workshop with me, or if you're doing it through the book, take your time, because your feelings can hide. The real truth of what you're after can be pretty buried. But like on the weight loss thing, if I'm sitting on the couch and I'm beating myself up inside because I bypassed an arbitrary calorie count, or I haven't gotten up and walked for the day, beating myself up is taking my energy away, and so I'm not likely to do it. I'm just going to keep sitting on the couch and create that vicious cycle of feeling crappy. The more crappy I feel, the more likely I am to eat something shitty, and that cycle that you get into. The Desire Map cuts all that out, because my only job is to reach for the feeling of comfort in my body, and whatever that word might be. You pick 3 or 4 core desired feelings. Yes, nice to see you. I'm sure I'll see you again. Going for the feeling strengthens my attraction to everything that can bring me that feeling. So someone might give me a gym membership. Somebody might invite me on a camping trip that'll motivate me to walk more. all going for the feeling completely opens all the avenues that the universe has to bring you things that match that feeling or will help you get to that point. That's all it is. It sounds pretty simple, and it is pretty simple, but it can be really complicated when we're not used to cutting out the middleman and going straight for the feeling. So, if you want to check out the workshop, this is the website. Ticket sales for this round in September 7th because I have to mail you a package of stuff that I'm going to show you. Hello. And classes start September 15th. It's 5 weeks of awesome.eventbrite.com. So you can check that out. What you get in the mail, because I pair my workshop with a lot of other things. I pull in stuff from Martha Beck. I pull in Byron Katie's work. I have a long past career as a therapist that specialized in trauma and a social worker. Worked with juveniles. I worked in a halfway house. So we're doing more than just the desire map process. And I put essential oils in there with it to train your body to relax on command. So that's something that we do at every session. You get a sample bottle, and I'm going to show you, of Citrus Fresh, and then another sample bottle of Stress Away. Those are the two most common oils that people are drawn to. So you get 30, 40 drops. Oh, awesome. So you totally know. So Young Living has like this energetic feel to it that I haven't found in any other oil. Oh, this is fantastic. So Young Living is got that little extra energy resonance boost of awesome sauce in it that's inexplicable. So workshop participants get the little, I want to say it's a half dram bottle. There's about 35 drops. There's enough drops to go through the whole 5 weeks and then some, especially if you're just smelling it. So what we do is every week we do a relaxation exercise, and then you pick one of these oils to work with for the whole 5 weeks. If you're already a Young Living person, you can pick any oil. The point is to pick an oil, stick with it for the whole 5 weeks, so that after every relaxation exercise, you smell that particular oil, and as the weeks go by, if you keep practicing that in between classes, when you smell that oil, your body will automatically start taking deeper breaths and relax, just like training a dog, just like training kids and husbands, just like training ourselves. When you pair a strong smell with a behavior, you're creating your own stimulus and response cycle. So you get you relaxed, you smell your oil. Over time, it's like Pavlov's dog. When you smell the oil, you take a deep breath and you start to relax because you have trained yourself that the smell of the oil is a behavioral cue. So it's your stimulus, and your body will respond by relaxing. So that's part of what we do. You get a hard copy workbook. Yeah, you can absolutely use scent as a behavioral cue. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with your family. You can put a particular smell on every single day in the morning, always having the same smell. And over time, your family just becomes accustomed to that smell, meaning, let's get going, it's morning, whatever your morning routine is. Then you can start actually blasting that smell in the morning, and it will help people kind of get with the program because you've trained them to the smell. The workshop comes with a workbook that we spend 5 weeks going through this. Right? Train those children. Every time I smell Irish Spring, it brings me back to college. Exactly. Scent is one of the most powerful behavioral cues available. So I was like, well, why not use these strong, powerful smells that have their own energy thing that they're doing to you, and pair that with a behavior that we want to achieve. That way, anytime you smell Stress Away or whatever oil it is you pick, you've got that added boost of those weeks of training. So the workbook has you going through all your desired feelings. You start large and go small. We talk about acknowledging the negative and processing it and witnessing it and giving the negativity its time in the sun, so that then more positive can flow through, because your mind can't have competing things. So when I was a trauma therapist, when people have been through trauma, especially if it's significant repetitive trauma, they literally can't access anything but that. That's where the intrusive thoughts come from. That's where the obsessive cycling comes from. Your brain is trying so hard to process that trauma, it can't remember the good times. So if you had a bad childhood with a particular person, most childhoods are a mix of good and bad memories. The problem is, until you address the bad ones, you can't access the good ones. So repeatedly I saw during EMDR therapy that people would, and EMDR is very fast. So you process through the trauma, and then all of a sudden you remember all these good things that happened too that you had totally forgotten about. So that is part of what we do in the Desire Map workshop, is we go through the negative stuff, because negativity won't go away unless you deal with it. You do something with it, you acknowledge it, accept it, it's okay, and then you can move on to the positive. So we don't shove the negativity aside, because you probably all know from experience that when you try to squash a balloon, it's going to pop out somewhere else. So if you squash the negativity, you may think it's gone, but it's not. It's going to jump up and bite you in the ass, like at the least convenient time possible. Hi, Juliana. Somebody else popped in. I'm sorry I missed your name. I've got glasses now, and I'm trying to get used to them, and it's really weird. I've never worn glasses before. So the Desire Map is that. You figure out what it is underneath your goals that you're trying to achieve. You go through the negative stuff that needs to get out of the way. And then you start developing a strategy and a long-term plan for how you're going to, every day on a daily basis, because daily stuff accumulates. You figure out what your daily plan is going to be to strengthen those 3 or 4 core desired feelings. So, for example, my feeling lately is connected, meaning connected to spirit. Every day I start out with, and I do a daily scope on Course in Miracles, and we talk about spirituality and stuff and how to use it in your practical life. Like, practically, how in the hell do you take Course in Miracle principles out into the world? So that we talk about that every day. That's mostly for me. People come and get something out of it, thank goodness, but it's part of my daily practice too, that I just share with others. I do whatever I can throughout the day to, that feeling like you've had like a great meditation or something has happened and you just have that strong sense of we're all one and everything's going to be okay. I do whatever I can throughout the day to maintain that feeling. Then I've been doing it for so long, I've been a meditator for so long, that I still fall off track, because I think you always do, but I catch myself and come back quickly. So it's building a toolkit for all the different things that work for you to bring you back in alignment with comfort or security or love or courage or happiness or whatever it is that your core desired feeling is. So the workshop is defining, looking at your goals as you have done them, digging around and finding the core desired feelings that you're really after. And usually we can boil those down to anywhere from 2 to 4. Then developing a plan for how you're going to keep those feelings active in your vibration every day. And we will use whatever tools we need to pick apart whatever beliefs may be in the way of those core desired feelings. So if your core desired feeling is love, but you have a blocking belief that you don't deserve love in any form, in any way, that tends to come up through the workshop, and we will spend time as a group picking those apart so that you don't have to do it by yourself. You can do this work by yourself. There's a magic that comes with a group that adds a whole nother kapow layer to it. So if you take the workshop from me, everybody does it differently. There's lots of facilitators out there. You get a hard copy of the workshop because I'm a big fan of physical writing. You get something out of it that you don't get out of the keyboard. You tap your emotions. There's structural things in the brain with physical writing, so you get that. You get the 2 oil samples. It's easier in the workshop. Yes, Blue Bobcat here has taken the workshop. It's easier because you have some accountability. And I have found in all workshops I've done, I've been working with people since 1996. Yes, because, yeah, I think a lot of people have. When you start scoping, oh my gosh, it is like the biggest, most amazing mirror for all kinds of stuff. The workshop holds you accountable. About 3 or 4 classes in, people want to quit. Okay, so that's the natural resistance we have when we reach toward growth and our bodies and our ego or whatever want to keep us static. So we reach toward growth and we expand out, and there comes a point where you want to snap back to your comfort zone. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit that microphone. That might have been loud. About 3 or 4 weeks, people want to quit. When you're in a 5-week group, you kind of have that group accountability, so it makes it harder for resistance to cut you off at the knees and stop your growth. So you get the oil, you get a workbook, you get a little gratitude journal. Yeah, right? Oh my God, you should probably do a scope just on the personal things that have happened since you started scoping, because it has brought up tons of stuff in me, like old stuff, like old things about being seen, old stuff about being competitive, like in groups, or feeling invisible in groups. That's just for me. So you get a little gratitude notebook, and we do a gratitude practice that's really specific. So it's not like, I'm so glad I have a house. It's, I'm so glad I have this house with wood floors that I've wanted forever. Every day is just really specific gratitude stuff. And to jot down notes for when you start looking at your cortisol feelings, it tends to be like taking the lid off a boiling pot of soup. Stuff just flies out, and you need to be jotting it down somewhere, either in your workbook or in a little notebook or something, because you'll forget. Otherwise, you know how you get those flashes of insight, and if you don't record them, they're gone. So I send you a notebook for that. It's really cute, and it's special, and you can put it in your purse, carry it around. Yeah, so a lot of people have the book and don't do it because it's hard. It's hard to do it by yourself. I think that's my opinion. 5, the number 5, weeksofawesome.eventbrite.com. You can also find Desire Map stuff from me on my website at caddyshackdesigns.com. Across the top are tabs of everything I do. Young living and Reiki and coaching and whatever. And then the last thing I send you is, you are very welcome. The last thing I send you is these little art cards. These are little Bristol board. Like I said earlier, I'm a portrait artist, and so I like Bristol board because it's smooth and it'll take a variety of things. It'll take pen, ink. I don't think pastel will stick to it, but we create a vision board in the workshop, but it's not a vision board. It's an emotion board. It's an essence board. So you go and find the pictures that trigger that feeling. So for me, if I'm seeking that connection to spirit, there's certain little pictures of chapels, even though I don't go to church. And yes, nice to meet you too. Thanks for hanging out. I know I've been talking for forever. I pull up pictures of these cute little chapels like in Italy, or things that make me feel connected to spirit, because that's my cortisol feeling. So I send these cards so that once you've defined your feelings and you're building your plan for how you're going to maintain them, you can use these cards. You can decorate, you can put stickers, you can write your word, you can get all kinds of creative. And then I found that creating an essence board instead of a vision board is much more powerful. So you have the feeling of wanting security. Then for your essence board, you go find pictures that make you feel secure. I don't know why, but farmhouses with trees around them make me feel like comfy and secure. So I have some of those. If I feel insecure that day or I feel like things are out of control, looking at my essence board and focusing on the farmhouses with the trees around them, and they just make me feel safe. So the whole 5 weeks is spent building your toolkit. I build a private Facebook group so that people could interact with each other and talk about their experiences, talk about dreams. Dream activity tends to pick up during the 5 weeks. So there's that. So you're not left hanging out there in between sessions. The sessions are once a week. And in between that, you have access to me and a Facebook group. So you're getting group coaching for 5 weeks with support of the group that goes on as long as you want it to. And I think that's it. That's replay viewers. If you have questions, let me know. Thank you guys who have stuck it out this whole time that I've been just going on and on. I can go on and on about seeking the essence of your goal for days. Don't even give me free reign, because I can go on and on and on for days about how that has changed my life and the lives of people who've taken the workshop or done this process on their own. You are welcome. Thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was nice to meet you too. Wait. Oh, let me see. Let me get you. I'm already following you, Letitia. Okay. Whoops. Now I almost canceled my broadcast before I was ready. Okay. I am wrapping it up though. So, again, the website for me, there's lots of facilitators. If you're drawn or feel guided to work with me, this is the website for the next workshop that's coming up. Ticket sales in September 7th. Class starts September 15th because I got to mail your goodies. And I'm clearly getting tired because I just snatched this thing right out of my ear. I think wearing new glasses has got me feeling pretty disoriented. I've never worn them before, and they are really going to take some getting used to. So, have a great night. I'll be back in the morning to do our daily Course in Miracles reading and discussion about how you take those principles out into your daily life. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow if you're available. And if you watch the replay all this way, good for you. Thank you. And good night.